Hi, this is Rianne. Come and get dressed with me. So I'm starting out with just a tank top and shorts and just simple underwear and then a flowy skirt just to start with. And then went with a white button down shirt and I have the sleeves rolled up just a little so that they stop at my elbows. And then I've styled button downs a lot of different ways in the past, but this time you're just going to kind of start buttoning it wherever you feel comfortable. I chose to start buttoning it about halfway down my torso and then button it all the way down. Once you have that, you're going to tuck it under the skirt. You don't really have to with the way I layered things, but I chose to. Next, I have an overskirt that I put on top, and I actually made this overskirt out of a denim-like fabric. I don't think it was denim, but it was something similar. And then I didn't feel like trying to step into the skirt with another skirt already on, so I put it over my head, and that worked sort of well. And I've actually painted along the bottom to create an almost dip-dyed effect. Of course, it's not actually dip-dyed, but it gives it character. And then you'll actually see that that skirt is shorter than the one I already had on, and I did that on purpose. Next, I have a corset that I made a long time ago. It's actually fairly old enough to the point where I actually needed to put in new lacing, and I had to, make sure I put it on correctly. I started to put it on when I made this corset. It was actually with the green side meant to be the front, and then I decided that I liked the fabric I used for the lining on it, and decided that it would be a reversible corset, and then added the paint splotching so that it would fit the same sort of vibe that I like to do sometimes. And then make sure that you put it on, right side up, because I almost put it on upside down. And then when I'm lacing things, I like to lace it so that it ends up with an X pattern. And so I start off putting both ends of the ribbon through the front of both sides. And then that means that the ribbons are sticking out the back. So then you're going to cross the ribbon from the one side to the other side and go in the back so that now it's coming out the front. And once it's coming out the front, you're going to bring it over to the other side and pass it through the front so it's sticking out the back. And you do that with both ends of the ribbon and do it all the way down, and you should end up with an X pattern. And yeah. So, like I had said, this was a fairly older corset that I had made a long time ago, and the laces that I had in it were dying, like coming apart, and had knots in them that I don't know how it got there. So, I'm actually replacing the ribbons, and when I designed this corset and made it, I made it so that it would have two lace up spots in the front, and it actually comes apart into 2 pieces. So we're replacing both ribbons because they were thoroughly dying. It is a well-loved corset, that is for sure. Once again, you're just going to lace it up in the same way you laced up the other side, and so that it makes that X pattern. Awesome. Now that I have the corset laced up how I want it, I just adjust it so it sits correctly and make sure it looks right with the rest of the outfit. And then I went ahead and grabbed like a chunky belt that I thrifted, and I have a little pouch that I got at a Ren Fair on it, and I also have, well, I already have one of the 2 skirt hikes that I made myself, just with some leftover fabric at some point, and took me a second because I almost put it on backwards so that the skirt hike was like backwards and upside down, and so that the little spots that you tuck through in the front with the long end of the belt was, not in the front, so it wouldn't be able to tuck through. So took me a second, but I got it. And you just adjust everything so it sits correctly, make sure that nothing sticks out and will catch on things. And like I said, I already have the one skirt hike on, and I also have like a little brooch attached to it because I like the way it looks. And then I'm just going to grab that top skirt, the top skirt layer, however you want to word it, and you're going to tuck it through both rings and then lift up the top ring and tuck it back through the bottom ring. And then it just stays. And then I actually have a second skirt hike that I will add, because you can totally stop and just do the one, or you can choose not to do any skirt hikes. But I went ahead and decided to do 2 today. So I attached it, and the button on this one likes to fight, which is part of why I like having the brooches on them. So it helps hold it all on and together. So then I just, adjust it so it sits correctly, fasten it on, and then use the little brooch to make it stay a little better. And then just pin it on. And then I personally thought it was both funny and cute to have 2 different brooches. You could totally do 2 identical brooches or no brooches at all. It's totally up to style choice. And then through both rings and then back through the bottom rings, and then it stays. Once you pull it tight, and then it just stays. And then you can kind of move around the different layers of the skirt so that it sits just a little better, because at first it can be a little awkward and odd. But overall, it has an interesting aesthetic to it. At this point, you can also go ahead and add any jewelry or, whatever shoes you like. Feel free to leave a comment, and thanks for watching.